faster now.
Downs. Oh yeah. Lions.
Yeah.
We have a 4400 together, but I don't remember like really. I've seen him like twice this semester.
I've been texting you.
Yeah, I texted him. He wanted help with that last assignment, so I was texting him. And like 2 days later, he like asked me, and I was like, well, it's already. I don't know. Say hello to Morgan's login. You're really good. Oh, that's where you gotta start.
Actually, I chased down that bird, and I'll be better. I have my friends playing brain. Turns out, yeah, the output was. Anyway, so that got deleted in about 5 hours.
Hopefully that camera.
I just really asked.
Yeah, that same day you were interested.
Hello. Okay, so while we are waiting for the lecture to boot, a couple announcements. Then before we start the lecture today, first thing is we're almost to the end of the semester. The final test I think is April 26th. Is that right? And I do not decide when the final will take place. The university registrar office, make that scheduling choice. I don't know whether you guys are aware of that or not. They look at the class lecture patterns. Meaning, if you, for example, if you meet Monday, Wednesday, this time to this time, your final will be this particular period on this particular day. So they make that choice. For us, it will be April 26th. The registrar office said it will be 2 hours, but I don't think we need 2 hours. I will do exactly the same as midterm. The final will be 19 minutes. 90 minutes. 1 hour, 30 minutes. Just like our midterm. Yeah, I don't want to make life so tough on you. So I don't want to test you the hell out of it, right? So only 19 minutes, and the final will be whatever we have covered after the midterm. And the deal is the same as midterm. Open book, subject to the same open book policy, and the scope of the final will be homework 4 and homework 5. That's it. We will cover additional things today and on Wednesday lecture, but those things I don't think we have enough time to do a detailed exercise homework on that. I decided not to test them on the final. But whatever I cover on today's lecture, on Wednesday lecture will be still very useful stuff to know. So to give you a roadmap ahead, today we're going to wrap up the discussion on transaction using about 20 minutes of lecture time. Then I will move on to discuss a little bit about indexing and data organization within database kernel. So that will be the rest of today's lecture. But that will not be covered for the final test. Final test will be strictly homework 4 and homework 5. Let me finish and I'll take your question. Then, on Wednesday, I will use the time to talk about NoSQL systems. So far, we've been talking about relational database for the most part. But if you go out and work, you will notice that people are using not only relational database for structured data management. People are also using all sorts of NoSQL systems for unstructured and semi-structured data management. Of course, we don't have time to go into full details of that space, but at least I want to give you an overview of that space using Wednesday lecture. And Wednesday is when you turn in your homework 5 as well, by which I will release homework 5 solution so you are ready for the final test. Then, on Wednesday, after Wednesday lecture, once you turn in homework 5, I will release homework 5 solution. And later this week, I will also release quiz 4 and quiz 5. Just like I did right before midterm, I released quiz 1, 2, 3. Those quiz, looking back what happened to your midterm, basically summarize the type of problem that will show up in your final. And give you a chance to test yourself. And just like quiz 1, 2, 3, quiz 4 and 5 come with problems that cover in respect to homework 4 and homework 5 respectively, as well as solutions that come together with the quiz at the end of it, so that you can test yourself and check against the solution I provide. Next week, I decide, because phase 3 is due on the 24th. So instead of keep going with lectures next week, I will just stop giving lectures. Rather, we will not meet again for lecture next week, so that you can concentrate on your phase 3 as well as get ready for your final test. Is that ready? Is that clear? Final test, I think, is next Thursday. All right. So we will skip Monday's lecture next week, so that you can concentrate on preparing for the final as well as getting your phase 3 documents. So we have 2 more lectures to go. Today and Wednesday, recap. Today we will use a little bit of time to wrap up the discussion on transaction. That's the last bit of information you need to know as far as final is concerned. Whatever I cover after that will not be part of your final, but still very useful stuff to know. So even though it's not part of your test, I still highly encourage you to stay tuned and pay attention. Try to understand as much as you can. And then quiz 4, quiz 5 will be released once after homework 5 is due. That being said, I open the floor for questions. Go ahead.
So I'm curious, do you know when phase 2 will be graded?
Yes, I instructed TAs to finish grading of phase 2 by this Friday, so that you have time, few days before you submit your phase 3 to review that.
Did you say phase 3 is due on the 24th?
I think so, but look at the announcement I made. I made an announcement.
You said it's due on Monday, the 23rd at
23rd. Then that's 23rd.
11:30 a.m.
Yeah, then that's 23rd. 23rd. Go with whatever I said in the announcement.
I like the 24th better.
You like the 24th better. Okay, we can do a poll. Let's just one day. How many of you like 24th? Okay, sure. Okay, let's do a 1 day extension. Okay, because I've been saying 24th. Even though in the announcement I said 23rd. Okay, fine. I honor that. We go with 24th. Okay, Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Sounds good? But I don't want to delay that any further, because I do want you to have at least 2 days before the final test to prepare for it. Question over there?
Can I ask something specific about phase 3?
Can you speak a little bit louder?
Can I ask
Of course, yes. Of course.
So when you see browsing, how do you want, so are we giving them only the option to do an and or between 3 options, or should we, how limited is the search? Or
Yeah.
how expensive is it?
So I can talk about that. Basically, the question, let me repeat. The question was, for the UC browser, Google Car browsing, how do you go about designing this interface, and how restrictive or how limited this search capability should be? Well, all you need to do is to implement what the spec asks you to do, which says you can search by category and search by model, I believe, then and or them. There's another term I forgot. The way you design your interface is probably like this. Model, you can either provide a text box, or you want to be a little bit fancier, you can provide a drop-down list, where the values of this drop-down list is dynamically populated from the existing models in the database. This can be either static or can be dynamically generated. Meaning that when user requests this URL, this of course will be in a form, right? When user requests this URL actually links to a GSP. That GSP page will render this form. That's how you generate dynamic content, where the values of this drop-down list are populated from your database. Okay. Next, you give a drop-down list, and this will be a static drop-down list with two choices, and or. So you ask user to select one of this. Then you provide another text box for user to select, to enter the keyword to search for. And this will send to a GSP for processing, where you get this is a parameter, you get a value for this. This will be another parameter, you get a value for this. This will be another parameter, you get a value for this. With all this information, you can easily construct your SQL. Okay?
So if they don't want to do an AND or are we just gonna give them an option?
Oh, if they don't want to, for any drop-down list, another option is to have no choice selected. You don't have to select this.
Okay.
So if you just select now here, then you know you should stop. I mean, I'm searching only for this one. Very easy to do that check, right?
So, sorry, I'm just because I just want to be sure I understand correctly. So let's say they did AND, so we allow them either to do the address, and then if they do another AND, we can allow them to do it on.
Yeah, of course. You can do this with another. You can keep expanding this with another term. Right?
Oh, but we want to. Can they do like a model and then or another model?
Well, that's either, right? If no, that's not what it specifies. Specifies only one model, right?
Yeah, okay.
One value for each.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Yeah. All right, so that's on phase 3. And any question on that? Now, the TA's approach, yeah, go ahead.
This is about Form 5.
Yes, so TA approached me asking, show whether it is allowed in strict two-phase locking, and if it's not, what happens? So the way you understand, I give an example of this actually. I said, okay, given this schedule, can this be executed in strict two-phase locking? If it can, show the process. If it cannot, show what happens. So given this schedule, I show you what happens if you're using strict two-phase locking. What the question now asking is, can the schedule be executed as is? Then the answer is no, it cannot be executed as is because that write A will be blocked. So the strict two-phase locking will modify the schedule so that it can be permitted. But the original schedule was not allowed to execute it as is in strict two-phase locking. Is that your question? Okay. All right. So that's what this problem is asking. Do you have any doubts on this? So you want to show whether the schedule can be executed as is. If not, what happens? So in this case, this given schedule cannot be executed as is because that exclusive block on A and write A of the second transaction will be blocked. So the schedule ends up being altered by the strict two-phase locking. So you cannot be executed as is. In that case, you show what happens. It's blocked, wait until the lock being released so that you can proceed. So that's what the question is asking, right? That's kind of, and also when you see release the logs at the commit time, there are also two possible scenarios. You don't have to show all possible scenarios. You just show one valid alternation to the original schedule if you think the original schedule cannot be executed as is. In this case, once I commit, I can start releasing logs, right? By the way, in database transaction engines, at least for our discussion, this part is considered as like being executed together. So meaning either you release before the commit or you release after the commit, doesn't really matter. For the matter of, as far as we are concerned. Okay? So either you release before the commit or you release after the commit, doesn't matter. But for strict locking, you can only release locks when you are ready to commit. So there are two possible scenarios. One is, as soon as you release the shared lock on A, the blocking on exclusive lock of A is released, so that transaction 2 will be able to proceed. In that case is, yes, you can proceed at this point, but you choose not to, and transaction 1 continue releasing locks, and then you proceed after transaction 1 has released all the locks. Both schedules are okay, but if you look at them, they are not as the same as the original schedule. It's being altered. Does that make sense? Question on this? Then there's another question similar to this that asks you what happens in non-strict two-phase locking. And again, in that problem, I give you an example like this. I show you what happens. So far, so good? Okay, cool. All right, so that's pretty much everything I want to say about homework 5. And I took a question on phase 3. Anything else you have on either phase 3 or homework 5? Go ahead.
So in the slides, the stuff about no, and then have that request be fulfilled after you release lock.
So to respond, I think correct me if I don't get your question right. The way to respond to your question is release of the lock is atomic option. So once that makes sense. So release of a lock is considered as an atomic option. So what you described will practically not happen. So that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So this is, speaking of which, why don't I go over this example with you? Same schedule, and I ask you to show what happened in non-strict two-phase lock. In this case, the same schedule, right? I'm looking at the same schedule. So transaction 1 starts with acquiring shared lock on A, then read the object of A. Then transaction 1 acquire the exclusive lock on B. And transaction 2 come in and ask for exclusive lock. But transaction 1 can start releasing locks. Because once I acquire that exclusive lock on B, transaction 1 knows that transaction 1 can start releasing locks. I can proceed. Alternatively, an even better scenario for transaction 2 is that transaction 1 release the exclusive lock of A, shared lock of A, as soon as he has acquired the exclusive lock on B. And that happens before transaction 2 even asks for the exclusive lock on A. Henceforth, that request of exclusive lock on A is not even actually proceed. So this is an example where the same schedule, note that I'm using the same schedule. The same schedule will not be allowed as is in strict two-phase locking, but will be allowed as is in non-strict two-phase locking. So this is the perfect example. Strict two-phase locking is a relaxation of strict two-phase locking and will permit more valid schedules. But the downside, of course, is that you may potentially run into cascading abort, which reinforces the understanding of strict two-phase locking and non-strict two-phase locking. The final word I want to say about this is, again, I draw that diagram. Strict two-phase locking, non-strict two-phase locking, they both permit only serializable schedules. But that doesn't necessarily mean all serializable schedules will be allowed by